Hello, welcome to Sama Life with Shalini. Um, if you've ever tried to be mindful in the real world and struggled, or you feel triggered, you're anxious, and then someone tells you, "Hey, just breathe and just be present," and you're like, "What does that even mean right now?" Or it doesn't really help. Trust me, I've been there. I've been a mindfulness researcher, teacher, certified mindfulness teacher, bring mindfulness into marketing. And yet, when I joined town council, I found myself struggling. I, of course, remember to breathe, I remember to be present. But then after that, I'm like, okay, now what do I do with this awareness now that I see that I'm anxious or there are different people wanting different things and competing needs and there's a lot of pressure? What does mindfulness really look like? And that's what got me digging deeper into the ancient mindfulness texts, looking at it from the perspective of psychology and realizing that just awareness is not enough. So that's what led me to write my book, Return to Mindfulness, and create the Sama Life program, many other programs. I'm also using this to teach marketing, mindfulness in marketing at the Eisenberg School of Management. But today I just wanted to share with you the logic for the skills that are needed to be mindful in the real world. So it, of course, always starts with awareness, but just that non judging awareness is not enough in the real world. So let me share an example of me with my new habit of running. So, to begin with, I hated running. Let's just say that. I can sit for hours, I can study, I can read, I can research, I can write. But movement of any kind, other than Zumba or dance, I love that. But other than that, running and any kind of organized exercise, I was like, I would do it and then I'd stop and then I'd give up. So when I brought awareness to my resistance, that's the first step or the first skill that is important in real world mindfulness. So I brought awareness to my resistance to running and noticing that I don't like running. I actually hate running. So now I have that awareness and I'm not judging myself. So now what? Right? So that then is the next step is inviting compassion. When there is judgment, we invite compassion, which is then looking at our causes and conditions for this resistance. So here I was judging myself as being lazy, comparing myself with my husband, who's been a marathon runner. And instead of that comparison, instead now I'm inviting understanding to what are the cause and conditions and seeing that my brain is wired to be more stationary and sedentary because I grew up in the Middle East and it was too hot to go out and exercise. It was a culture. The culmination of things was I spent a lot of time growing up sitting, watching TV, eating French fries, and studying, reading. So I'm really good at all of those things. And now, so if I want to change my wiring, I need to start doing more of what I want to change, which is running. So, okay, so I'm like, okay, that gives me, I'm not lazy. I'm going to start taking small steps towards running. So now I start running, and of course, my heart is beating really fast. I'm out of breath, and I'm like, I just go up my hill, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't want, this is really hard. So then the third skill of curiosity comes in, which is what if this discomfort is not just difficult, but it's just different. So when I say this is really hard, bringing curiosity, what does hard feel like in the body? I'm like, oh, my breath is really shallow, it's going fast. Okay, what does that mean? Oh, my heart is pumping really hard. Okay, how is that hard? The heart is doing what it needs to do to keep up. It's actually getting stronger, better, healthier. So, like, oh, okay, I can use curiosity then to transform my resistance and discomfort into just seeing, okay, what if I just take the next step? Can I take another step and another step? And I was able to do that. And I realized I ran a mile with that no judgment, curiosity, and just doing that. Okay, so now we're at curiosity, but then life kicks in and I get many projects. I'm teaching, I'm writing books, all of that. So now what happens? I'm like, okay, I'll run tomorrow because I'm really busy right now. So this is where we invite the fourth skill of energy, which is about realigning with what is needed. So right effort, and right effort means anything that's aligned with our intentions, with our goals. And my intention is to bring mindfulness to more and more people, which means writing, teaching, traveling, maybe. And that requires energy. And it's very important if I want to do all of these things that I am cultivating the energy in my mind, in my body, emotionally, spiritually. And so that right effort then guides me towards making time for going out and running and balancing my mental health with my physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, right? So now all of this seems like, oh my God, that seems like a lot of work. And we've been focusing on what is hard, what is difficult, starting new habits. But life is not just always hard, it's also beautiful. And there's a lot to be grateful for. So that brings in our fifth mindfulness skill of appreciative joy. So if you're only focusing on improving and being better and doing and starting new things, that can get depleting also. So appreciative joy disrupts our negativity bias and helps us to see all that is good in our lives. And so for right in the middle of my run, for example, I can really, and I will pay real attention to my feet and all the different muscles and bones in my feet, feel the strength of my body to be able to do this. Then I feel appreciate the clean air, breathing in, maybe the touch of the breeze on my skin. So all of the things that are beautiful and wholesome in this moment. So really taking time to appreciate um, and feel that gratitude, not just a checklist that this is good, but really taking a moment to feel the gratitude, the joy of being alive in this moment. So that helps to rewire our brain for happiness, for contentment, satisfaction. And that creates a foundation for, again, doing the work we do with more purpose, enthusiasm, joy. And now that can get seductive. So even this joy and the adrenaline that I get from running can become seductive. So I remember I had some pain in my feet and I kept ignoring because I really was starting to enjoy my running. So that creates attachments, right? This joy and this adrenaline that can create an attachment, which then is bad for us, also can be bad. And I realized that I had plantar fasciitis and some other problems with my feet, and I was running and hurting my feet more. And so that brings in our sixth mindfulness skill of inner calm. And inner calm is about recognizing the attachments to our beliefs, our actions, what feels good. And that attachment is what creates then stress, either immediately or down the road, because we're not able to let go. And when we're not able to let go of what is the causes of our stress, and that's what adding to our stress. So, inner calm really is about seeing our attachments and transforming them with the right understanding. What can we soften the grip of or let go of in this moment? And that can help us then return to that place of inner calm and harmony. And when we have that inner calm and clarity, the clarity that comes when we let go of that striving and that grasping, that allows us then to really pay attention to what is most important, to have focus. That's the seventh mindfulness skill. So when you have all of these things that allow us to be calm and clear, we can then focus on what is most important. So when it's time to run or exercise, that's I can bring all of me, my full presence with all my intelligences, my mental intelligence, physical, spiritual, emotional, when all my intelligences are aligned, whether I'm running or I'm working or I'm teaching. That's the power of presence. And you can see it for yourself. Like when I even bring that into running, I can feel the difference in my running when I'm fully aligned rather than running and thinking about something else or worrying about something or planning. So, intentionally bringing aligning all the intelligences to do what is most important in this moment of time. That is the power of presence. And then the last eighth mindfulness skill of equanimity is what gives us discernment of what is important, what is needed, which mindfulness skill do we need. It allows us to balance. Do I need more compassion for myself? Do I need compassion for others in this moment of time? Do I need more curiosity, or do I need to stay more focused? So these are the 8 skills. And if you have any questions about any of these, feel free to drop me a comment now or later when you watch this video. And tomorrow, that is Wednesday, we are starting a series so that we can systematically and playfully cultivate these 8 mindfulness skills. And we're going to take one skill per month so that we really have the space to practice, to try it, to experiment with it. And we will have 2 live sessions where we'll meet together with me. There'll be recordings in case you can't make it. But the whole idea is that we get to really look at the nuances of what these skills are and how to build these habits of the mind. So using micro habits, micro practices where we do small practices multiple times in a day. We use habit stacking where these are new habits and we already have a lot going on. So what this journey is about, how do we integrate mindfulness in these small micro practices into our day before a meeting, while waiting in line, in the middle of a difficult conversation? How can I invite that compassion practice of interbeing, see my needs, understanding the needs of others? Or if I'm needing energy, just reminding myself to find my purpose in this and let that purpose be the driver of my energy. And so using these different micro practices, I've actually in the book as well, I have 48 micro practices, which I call daily reminders, that you can very systematically use to create and strengthen these qualities of the mind, but also use them as disruptors. So when you are going down a cycle of self-judgment or you are feeling stuck on a creative project, just picking up the appropriate mindfulness practice, you can then use that in that moment for 3 to 5 minutes to reset your brain and shift your mindset from your default, whatever it is, to this newer way of seeing and experiencing that situation. So we're going to be doing all of that. We'll meet twice a month, and starting with September, just talking about the foundations of how to build these skills with our deeper practices and the micro practices. And then in October, we start with awareness. November is going to be about self-compassion. December is compassion for others, and so on. I'm going to share the whole schedule with you in this post. And the idea is to do it with someone who brings in a lot of expertise. That would be me. So I do bring a lot of expertise, but you know what? My expertise is based on my research, my learning. Of course, I've taught and many people, so I bring in the shared experiences of others. But really, when you join, you are contributing as much to this collective, to this movement of real world mindfulness, not just mindfulness for my stress reduction in this moment of time, but individually and collectively. How can we practice in the middle of everyday life when there is stress, when there's uncertainty, chaos? How can we show up as individuals, as human beings that are deeply grounded in this understanding of our interconnectedness. And we have the skills so that we can rely on them to bring us back to our inner knowing. That is something we all already have. So, how do we return to that inner knowing in the middle of everyday life so that we can make choices, so that we can experience life fully, enjoy the gifts of this life in this moment of time, and share from that place of abundance of our gifts, of our knowing with other people who are impacted by our choices. So I really invite you to join us on this journey. We are going to be meeting, like I said, twice a month. But if you can't make it, you will have the recordings. There'll be a report of the summaries of the practices. There'll be resources I'll be sharing with you, audio guidance of these micro practices that you can take into your day, practice them, and share your questions, insights, your wins. And that's how we all collectively build a Sama world. And Sama, again, if for those of you who don't know, it just means being skillful, balanced, centered, equal, equanimity. So thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to share them. Thank you.